नमस्कार आणि योगकार परत एकदा गोयंकारपणा जस्ट कॅज्युअल या कार्यावळीत आणि आमच्या बरोबर असा आज 3 मानेस्त प्रदीप पडगावकर सिनियर जर्नलिस्ट एक्स पॉलिटिशियन देन माझो पयलींचो एडिटर बाब सुजय गुप्ता ही वॉज इन हेराल्ड फॉर ऑलमोस्ट 2 decades and the main issue today before introducing the guest म्हणल्यार the thing is Rama Kankonkar assault, then the protest regarding IIT and the Unity Mall. So these two people are going to speak about all these protests and the assault. And to defend this from the government side and the party side, we have Giriraj Vernekar, who is going to talk about what is government's view on all these things. So starting with Pradeep Bab. Pradeep Bab, can you just tell us Rama Kankonkaraचे जे झाले पयली last week? What is your first reaction?
फर्स्ट रिएक्शन म्हणजे कितें पळय, फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन जे आसता न्हू, इट इज ओपन टू एनी वन, म्हणजे इट इज अ रायट. ओके, तो फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन करतकूच इफ इट इज हर्टिंग द रायट्स ऑफ सम अदर पर्सन, देन इट कॅन बी लिमिटेड टू समथिंग. बट अदरवायज फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन इज अलाउड आनी तेजेर सेन्सरशीप आसूंक फावना and there legal action by government asung found as far as it doesn't hurt anyone.
So your first reaction was the assault right or wrong?
It was wrong, totally wrong. You can to konak utru ani maar ashe kashe kuru shakta.
Sujay,
see, in your paper Goemkarponn, you have a front page story which says the CM has said that I'm not going to tolerate gundagiri. And at the end of the day, no chief minister of any state would like to tolerate any kind of gundagiri. Okay. Now the issue is, I'm not getting into what was the difference Rama Kankonkar had with his attackers, what were the motives. Of course, that's going to be part of the investigation. But what is very critical here is that at the end of the day, literally in broad daylight, okay, it was late evening or late afternoon, in the heart of Greater Panjim, in the surrounding areas, you have a person coming out of a restaurant getting assaulted by goons who turned out to be history cheaters later on, openly, completely thrashed. It was a murderous attack on him. There were bystanders there who either did not attempt or were too scared to attempt. There was another journalist or a media person or linked to media who says there was a knife pointed at him. At the end of the day, my primary motive here is to establish that at the end of the day, if history cheaters are roaming free in this kind of a manner and openly committing a murderous attack on anybody. I'm not even looking at Rama Kankonkar, whether he's an activist or not, that is secondary. The motive is secondary. My issue is, you can have gangs openly floating around and committing murderous attacks of this nature with absolute impunity.
Yeah, which
raises with no fear. My issue is that where is the fear of the law?
Yeah.
And where is the fear of the system?
Correct.
The larger impact of who was behind it, who was the mastermind, we'll get into it later.
Yeah.
But my opening remarks is this: at the end of the day, if this happens, then it reflects a very, very poor situation as far as law and order is concerned.
Giriraj Bab, as he said, it is totally wrong. There is no fear of law and order in Goa right now. Ata it is not just one-off case. फाटल्या दिसांनी आमी गँग वॉर पळयली, बाउन्सर एकमेका कडेन झगडटा ते पळयले, थेफ्ट, मर्डर्स, रेप. what is your first reaction and what do you think?
नाही, सगळ्याकीन पयलीं म्हणजे म्हाका दिसता मुख्यमंत्र्यांनी ताजो निशेध केलोच. आमचे जे पार्टीचे अध्यक्ष आसा तांणी निशेध केलो. तर एक म्हणजे म्हाका दिसता न्ही की वी शूड नॉट बी व्हेरी क्विक टू एट्रिब्यूट मोटिव्स. म्हणजे जर प्रदीप बाबान म्हणलें की फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशना खातीर, तर म्हाका दिसता वॉट इज एक्चुअली ट्रान्सपायर्ड तें पळोवपाक जाय. पण कोणाचेरूच अटॅक जावप हे डेमोक्रेसीन समर्थन कोणूच करूंक शकना. आनी तो मागीर खंयच्याय पक्षाचो आसूं किंवा इंडिपेंडंट आसूं, जर ताजें कोण समर्थन करता जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता तांचोय तितलोच निशेध जावपाक जाय जितलो त्या अटॅकरांचो जावपाक जाय. एज फार एज पुलीस एक्शन, थोड्या फावटी कितें जाता, थोड्या फावटी अशी जी एक्शन्स आसा ती जाल्या नंतर, म्हणजे फियर ऑफ द लॉ हाऊ यू इन्स्टिल इज ऑल्सो बाय एन्श्योरिंग की देर इज झिरो टॉलरन्स टू सच इन्सिडेंट्स. आणि ते म्हाका दिसता हांगा दाखयता की एक म्हणजे म्हाका दिसता दनपारा केन्ना तरी अटॅक जाला तो, आणि बाय 8:30 in the night there were 5 people out of 7 arrested. The very next day the other 2 were arrested. आणि जेन्ना तांचे इंटरोगेशन जाले, म्हणजे काल एका विरोधी पक्षाच्या नेत्यान सुद्धा म्हणला की आमकां दिसून आशिल्लो की जो तांकां दिसता एट हुज बिहेस्ट दीस हॅज हॅपन्ड ताका अरेस्ट जातली म्हणून. तर म्हाका दिसता पुलीस हॅव शोन की देर इज नो पॉलिटिकल इंटरफियरन्स. आणि जे म्हणून हांव म्हणटा की थोड्या फावटी कितें जाता आमकां जे असले इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन असता वी वॉन्ट एव्हरीथिंग टू बी इन पब्लीक डोमेन, बट म्हाका दिसता थोड्यो गजाली ज्यो आसता त्यो पुलीस इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन करता दॅट इज द बेस्ट पार्ट. आणि जेन्ना जेन्ना अपडेट्स येतले ते लोकां पर्यंत येतले. पण हाजो अर्थ खंयच्याच गुंडाक शिल्ड करपाचो प्रयत्न भारतीय जनता पार्टीच्या सरकारान करूं ना, मुख्यमंत्री डॉक्टर प्रमोद सावंतांनी करूं ना. आणि आता म्हणजे ताज्या नंतर म्हणजे 7 जाण थंय इन्वॉल्ड आशिल्ले तांणी म्हणजे वॉट आय सॉ फ्रॉम द प्रेस कॉन्फरन्स ऑफ SP तांणी एका मनशाचें नांव घेतलें ताकाय झेनेटोकूय अरेस्ट जाला. पण ते करता आसतना 23 जाण ऑलरेडी अरेस्ट जाले. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दॅट तातूंतले 9 सामके रेग्युलर हिस्ट्री शिटर्स आसा जांकां प्रिव्हेंटीव अरेस्ट केल्या. तर 23 जाण. आणि दुसरें म्हणजे खूबदां कितें दिसता लोकांक की पुलीस एक्शन घेना काय ऑर देर इज नो फियर ऑफ लॉ अँड ऑर्डर. म्हणजे तुमकां सांगता गेले काही महिने म्हणजे वॉट इन्फॉर्मेशन आय हॅव गॉट ऑलमोस्ट 400 लोकांक प्रिव्हेंटीव अरेस्ट करून म्हणजे किंवा इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन करून सोडल्या ज्यांचो काही रेकॉर्ड आसा. सो त्यामुळे पुलीस पावलो पावली हें करत आसता. आता फक्त हो जो इन्सिडंट आसा तो कित्याक जालो, वॉट इज द मोटीव, आय थिंक वी शुड नॉट स्पेक्युलेट.
No, but opposition, when they are talking about, they are talking about a mastermind in the cabinet. So, is there any investigation going on from the party level or the government level? Who is this person?
आता
involved?
परत म्हणजे आता जो पयर झेनेटो इन्वॉल्व जाला
हा.
ताजे कोणा कडेन लिंक्स आसा अशें ऑपोजिशन म्हणटा काय. कारण आमकां दिसता की ऑपोजिशनांतल्या पार्टींतले इन्वॉल्ड आसा. म्हणजे एका लॉयरान तर सांगला की ताजे क्रिमिनल केसीस आसा बट ताका NSA लावचो न्हय म्हणून ऑपोजिशनाचे. सो when you say association, कसले association or association applies only to a ruling party.
Okay,
I'll just quickly finish.
Okay,
आणि दुसरें आता हांवें जे म्हणलें why I said की there should not be speculation or politics. म्हणजे आता पळय वेन्झी वेगस BJP ऑफिसान आयलो. Are we investigating the matter? By coming to BJP office, by threatening those staff, म्हणजे थंय अध्यक्ष नाशिल्लो, थंय मुख्यमंत्री नाशिल्लो, थंय आमचे कोण जनरल सेक्रेटरी नाशिल्ले, by threatening the staff, थंय बायलां आसा. what was he trying to achieve? किंवा तांणी रस्त्यार बसून जो प्रोटेस्ट करून जो लोकांक म्हणजे एक भुरगी सांगता एक बायल सांगता की आपल्या चल्याक एपिलेप्सी आसा, वी आर नॉट एबल टू गो, वॉट हॅव दे अचीव्ड? हांव इतलेंच म्हणटा की रामा काणकोणकाराक जस्टीस मेळप इज सद्या प्रायोरिटी, नॉट हांचे राजकीय पोळी वाचपाक. म्हणजे आणि दुसरो म्हणजे तुवें जो विचारलो की फाल्यां जर कोणाक दिसता की देर इज अ मास्टर माइंड आनी इफ दे हॅव इन्फॉर्मेशन दे शूड गिव इट टू द पुलीस. हांव इतलेंच म्हणटा की मिडियान हो जो जे पिलू सोडटात की आसा ते कित्याक प्रूफ आसा पुलिसांक दिवचे.
Yes,
So
Sujay,
the quick response, please. See, the thing is, I'm not disagreeing with him at all. Okay, but there are two aspects to it. One is the law must take its course is a cliche. It's also a fact. But the point here is that after that particular attack, I'm going completely by the facts. Take the politics out of it completely. After that brutal attack, the video very clearly shows, or at least one can assume based on what we've seen, that there was a clear attempt on part of the attackers to send some information on the phone to somebody else. You could make out that in the last shot shows that they've been capturing it and sending it. Now the idea here is, up till now, we have no information as to who that particular footage was sent to.
correct.
At the end of the day, see, normally what happens is when hired goons or hired killers are given a particular task, their job is to report back to a boss somewhere that the job is done. This is a natural tendency. Now, obviously, it was being given. Now, we sitting here have no right to assume that it's a politician or whether he's in the ruling party or whether he's in the opposition.
Correct.
I completely get that point. But the point here is, but we must know who it is. We cannot assume it, but we must know sooner than later.
So I'll just I'll just make a very very quick point.
Yeah, sure.
See, we always see that whenever
I'll come back to you.
Ah.
Let Pradeep
गिरिराज बाबान म्हणलें की सीएमान एक उतार काढले वालोर एज अ हेड ऑफ द स्टेट आणि चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ द स्टेट. ताणें सांगलें की हांगा कसलीच गुंडागिरी आपूण खोपून घेवचो ना आनी कंडेम केलो सगळें. ही विजिटेड GMC, मॅट रामा काणकोणकर, अंडरस्टूड एवरीथींग. पूण म्हाका एक अजाप म्हणजे मजा कशी दिसता हांव म्हणटा, कित्याक की जो रुलींग पार्टीन MLA आसता, जो मिनिस्टर आसता, जावं त्या पक्षाचो समर्थक इंडिपेंडंट MLA आसता, जो सरकारान भागीदार आसता, आणि जे ऑलरेडी पयलींचे फॉर्मर मिनिस्टर, फॉर्मर MP, आयज प्रत्येक जण स्टेटमेंट कितें दिता की मास्टर माइंडाक धर. I have read it. You must have also read
Of course,
Yeah.
of
Of course,
course.
so many, at least 2 or 3 ruling parties, MLAs are saying mastermind should be. So why they don't tell the name of that mastermind to their own
Yeah,
party,
Giriraj,
and
I'll
why they don't discuss among themselves instead of coming to the media?
No.
Yeah, Giriraj, as he said, Dilip Parudekar, Michael Lobo have all come out saying that the mastermind, the Gundagardi cannot be tolerated. The mastermind. What does the ruling party MLAs or the ex-MLAs have to say?
परत तातून देर आर 2 थिंग्स. मास्टर माइंड पकडपाक जाय हे सगळ्यांक खबर आसा. आता तो मास्टर माइंड कोण, वेदर झेनेटो इज द मास्टर माइंड, काय देर इज समबडी बिहाइंड. सी ऑल दिस हॅज टू बी. आता आय विल गिव यू अ सिंपल एक्झाम्पल. जेन्ना कोणाकूय आरोपीक अरेस्ट करता पळय, वाय डू दे वेअर दॅट ब्लॅक मास्क? It is because you should not influence the eyewitnesses. If I see that face on TV today, especially in today's digital media, sometimes you get swayed by that. So the reason why that is done. So what I'm trying to say is investigation has to be very specific. For example, what led to Zenito's arrest? Are you expecting the police should tell them, come to the media, come to the police, ki baba, they have taken Zenito's name? No, they arrested him. And then they said ki, as per investigation, same thing applies to case. Who they have sent the video. See, lot of this evidence will be produced when their bail has to be denied. So all I'm trying to say is let us not demand a media trial. Secondly, what Michael Lobo or anybody else is asking, see, they are not supposed to be privy to the investigation. Today, BJP as a party also is not the one conducting investigation, or nor the police is reporting to us. So a lot of information. All I'm trying to say is, see, if the arrest had not happened, काल तो तुमकां सांगता अमित पालेकाराचो स्टेटमेंट आसा की I had never thought की Zeneto will be arrested. हो ताजो कालचो स्टेटमेंट आसा. So that itself shows की जर कोण तांकां दिसता की there is some pressure not to arrest him, no pressure will be tolerated. आणि परत आता whether he is the mastermind, जाल्यार he has been arrested. If there is another mastermind, he will also be arrested.
Yes.
See, परत फाल्या whether he is related to our party, opposition party, trust me, Dr. Pramod Sawant and his government is clear. Nobody will be spared.
No, that is what is
it's-
expected.
Yeah, it's reassuring to hear that. I have a couple of points here based on what he said. Completely take that point. Point here is that no, if you look at Zenito Cardoso, okay.
Yeah.
Now everybody, especially journalists like you, me, journalists, political activists, people, politicians, Zenito Cardoso is not one newbie who's just come out of the hole. He has been in the political stroke criminal landscape of Goa for the last 15-20 years. His association with certain politicians are very clearly established. There is no doubt. Now, of course, one cannot jump to the conclusion is that those associations have led to this, or that those politicians involved have led to this. That conclusion one cannot draw. But what is important here is that it is unlikely that Rama Kankonkar, unlikely, I'm not saying it cannot be possible, it's unlikely that Rama Kankonkar has had any personal enemy with Zenito. Unlikely. I'm not ruling it out, but unlikely, okay? So the issue here is that there is a prima facie information or prima facie feeling, and it's a positively important feeling, that Zenito Cardoso is somebody who typically would act as a hitman for somebody else. This is very, very well established. Now it is for the police to find out.
कालच्या पेपरान इंग्लिश पेपर तुम्ही वाचला आसतला नको की आफ्टर द SP's press conference, one of the, see what happens, in every department, all are not bad and all are not good. Somebody who doesn't like what is happening, which is wrong, then he quietly tells someone. So one of the police, on the request of not to be mentioned name, तेणे सांगला मरे सर की हे धरला ते नाटक म्हणून हो आसा ऑफकोर्स, बट ही इज नॉट द मास्टरमाइंड हो कोणाक खबर आसा. आतां सर सांगता तुका, बारीक जर तूं सगळे कडेन असो जे वेल नोन पब्लीक फिगर्स on social media of course misguiding येते, पण they are clearly mentioning some link here and there. हांव म्हणना की they are 100% right.
But Pradeep, see, again to me, the issue here is, I completely agree, there cannot be a social media trial or a media trial, but there must be absolute correct media questions.
Yes.
If the media is saying that we must come to the bottom of it, that's completely valid. If the media is saying that the police should come out with absolute facts and tell us where that information went to, that should come out. See, at the end of the day, yes, these arrests are positive. Good that these arrests have been made. But the issue here is, at the end of the day, this has to be taken to its logical conclusion and should not die down.
So basically what the thing is, what we have discussed so far, we have come to a conclusion that this is something the police are doing are on the right track. but finally, if there is a mastermind, who they send a clip to has to be known, and these are something which everybody expects. We don't know who the politician is, or there are speculations, but we cannot.
It can be
as a
somebody
media,
else,
we
other
cannot-
What I'm
we have our
limited point असा की his association with politicians on all sides is there, ne? So काल जेन्ना when the Aam Aadmi Party is questioned, it is professional. So आणि फाल्या, see, my association with BJP is well known. My association with Dr. Pramod Sawant is well known.
Yeah,
Tomorrow,
totally
if I
agree.
indulge in
Totally
something,
agree, Giriraj.
are you going to hold Dr. Pramod Sawant responsible?
I
On a
agree.
lighter note, Giriraj, on a lighter note, the issue here is that Seritho's association are with politicians from all sides. I completely agree, but the associations are with politicians who actually switch sides. The issue here is this: the point is the very
See-
fact that this label is put on
See,
him
again,
is also because the politicians he's been
See,
associated
but
with have
again,
also switched sides.
the thing here is very clear.
Yeah.
Ki association, whether it is about switching sides, see, we are, again, what I'm trying to say is
Hmm.
knowingly or unknowingly attributing motives, which is a
Hmm.
very bad thing. Especially in case of motives to the whatever has happened. See, again, I'm saying, like when he said it is because of freedom of expression, see, it could be something else. Let us.
But
All
there
I'm
has
trying
to
to
be
say is
some
let us
motive.
wait.
For
So
any
what
incident,
I'm
there
trying
has
to
to
say
be some
is
motive.
right now, what especially people on the opposition is doing is to get political mileage out of it, whereas they should actually be fighting for justice for Rama Kankonkar. Ki whoever has done it, because see, again, even if he has had personal differences, these goons have no right to manhandle him.
Also,
They should follow the
Correct.
so Tatun there is zero tolerance.
So
let me
we
be
have-
very
we
clear.
we have all
Whether
agreed.
there is a mastermind or there is a mafia, they will all be arrested
see,
and brought to
also with
books.
regard to motives, there are motives because no attack can be a motiveless attack. Any attack
So
has
that's
a
what I'm
motive.
saying. So let
So
us
let,
wait.
so let the
us
police
keep
do
our
the
faith in the
investigations.
police.
Until then, we'll
Okay.
we as a media will cover what exactly is happening. We'll do our investigations, and if somebody has a concrete evidence, let us come out with that instead of making allegations. Now, following this attack, now Sujay, what happened the following day was there was a blockade entirely, and the ambulances and children all were affected. Parents were upset. Such kind of protests, which happen normally outside Goa, mostly in the northern side or Karnataka or wherever, such things can be allowed in Goa because I had the advocate Carlos day for yesterday,
Right,
and
right.
he was totally against this. He said that Congress party did not want this. So who did it?
Congress party. This is Advocate Carlos's point of view.
Yeah,
That's not the Congress's point.
that's what he is saying.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
Congress never allowed this.
See, the issue is, it's like this. Whenever these kind of protests happen, by and large, across the country, protests of any nature are looked at differently. The ruling party looks at all protests as A, anti-government, and B, as disruptions in the public ecosystem and the civic ecosystem. Opposition parties, activists, and others look at it as a democratic right, because at the end of the day, protests are a democratic right in every society when something is wrong. Now, the issue here is, if you look at it, I don't think the protest was specifically with regard only to Rama, though Rama was completely a trigger.
Yeah.
It was a complete outpouring of people's sentiment against what they believe is a continuous series of law and order and other wrongs that have happened, because of which there was an outpouring. Now, with regard to disrupting public life to a large extent, see, now the point is, how do you rate the farmers' protests that happened on the Delhi border
Correct.
for over a year and 18 months? At the end of the day, sometimes people have to take to the street to demand their rights in any democratic situation. At the end, if they feel wronged and if they feel that all doors are closing on them. Secondly, against any powerful government or powerful ecosystem, this is a democratic right to protest. However, a line has to be drawn when it comes to, say, an ambulance going, or somebody sick traveling, or school examinations getting disrupted. These are, so for all these issues, a proper, mature protesting ecosystem or a protesting party, let's put it this way, should ensure that these kind of things are sorted. But we cannot take away the right to protest in a democratic country like us.
Yeah,
Take the protest म्हणला की
Pradeep बाब तुका हांव विचारता एक specific question. As he said, it was not just because of Rama, it was just a trigger म्हटल्यार तुम्ही पळयतले थंय हांव पळयता थंय बॉम्बाचे लोक असले, थंय टॅक्सी कार असले, It was just that anger
तो
boiling
तेजो
against the
खंयचो राग
government.
आसा तो एकठांय जावन थंय आयला.
Yeah.
प्रोटेस्ट म्हणजे कितें मरे आयक सांगता तुका प्रोटेस्ट एकदां प्रोटेस्ट म्हणून रस्त्यार उबे रावले की ना इट गोज आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल.
It has no mob has no face.
आणि त्या टायमार मरे कोंट्री एक खरें सांगता तुका म्हणजे अशी एक बाळन वचपाक एमर्जन्सी केस सुद्दां आडोवन उरलेली आसा. आतां एग्जांपल गोंयान सगळ्यान वर्स्ट खंयचो जाल्लो कोंकणी खातीर पळय एक तेंच्यांनी केल्लो वेर government of BJP
Of
had
course.
come into power
Of course, correct.
saying that Konkani should be the language, but afterwards when they paralyzed the whole state, पणजे पुलार येवन बसले assemblyसून अख्खो म्हाका I remember I could not come to work.
Correct.
So that protest, whether it was held with hand
See,
in
the
glove
history
with the
of
government, I don't know.
Goa is riddled with great stories of protest movements. I mean, from the students who protested
Yes,
against
50%. I was
against ticket fares,
Yeah.
to the meta strips agitation, to the Konkan agitation, to the
Shale Meravali also we saw there was
Same
a violence.
situation.
the point is protest per se is a democratic
No,
activity.
my question is just not that protest. Protest you cannot take the right away from anybody. It is there in the democracy and it is our legal right. But the thing is, blockade of roads. The people were affected.
No, as I said, that anyway, like
Giriraj
but my
and-
issue-
and,
I'll
Giriraj
just
Bab-
make one point here. There are collateral difficulties that the public faces when the majority of the public are protesting for a larger cause.
Yeah, the same thing. Giriraj Bab, that protest.
First clarification to what Sujay
No,
said.
let me
When
tell
he
you.
says majority of the people, I don't know which majority he is talking about. If it is those handful of
I'm
political wannabes.
I'm saying in a democracy.
No,
I'm
but
making a larger
sir,
statement.
I fully agree. Again, the right to protest, everybody has. We have also protested as recently as I think a couple of weeks back.
Correct.
But we ensured only one lane was blocked. We went to the Congress House. We made our protest clear. One lane was again cleared. But what we saw there was a absolutely unruly mob. आता म्हाका एक सांगा, my question is again that if you wanted a genuine protest for what was the point of Wendy Vegas trying to storm the BJP office?
Yeah, that's what my point.
What was he trying to achieve?
No, but
See,
that
again, I mean, Pradeep Bab said a very important thing. की एकदा मॉब आयलो न्हय की then there is no control. So फाण्यां जर तातूंतलो एकटो जर ताणें जर पिशावणा करून कोणाचेर बायलेचेर अटॅक केलो, कोण जबाबदारी घेवपाचो?
See,
आणि तुमकां सांगता what would have followed if as a leader of the protest जर तुम्ही वेन्झे अरेस्ट केल्लो, ते म्हणपाचे you are going against opposition.
No, but
So
Giriraj,
damn if you do, damn if you
let me
don't.
question you.
दुसरे परत
Let me question you on that first. The thing is, couple of days, about weeks ago, the BJP went to the Congress House. They blackened the board. Was it not?
Again, परत. आता तुका काँग्रेसीची हालत सांगता. ताज्या काही आठवड्या पयलीं NSUच्या प्रेसिडेंटान अमित पाटकराचेर केस फायल केल्या की आपल्याक मारलो म्हणून. सो वेदर दॅट इंक वॉज थ्रोन, कारण काल दाजी साळकारान जो आमचो आमदार आसा ताणें क्लियर स्टेटमेंट दिला आपूण त्या प्रोटेस्टाक आशिल्लो, आपणे काय कोणें तो बोर्ड ब्लॅक केला तो पळोवना. सो एक म्हणजे टू लिंक दॅट ब्लॅकनिंग ऑफ द बोर्ड टू प्रोटेस्ट इज रॉंग. दुसरें काँग्रेसीनूच पयर एका महिलेक मॅनहँडल केली म्हणून तांणी कंप्लेन केल्या तांच्या लिडरशिपाक. Their NSUI president has said कि Amit Patkar has assaulted him. So whether that also was part of their fight. So हांव इतलेंच म्हणटा, जर काँग्रेसीक दिसता आमी केला, they should go to the police and file a complaint. पण त्या दिसा जे प्रोटेस्टाक आशिल्ले, I was not there, but they have not seen anybody from the mob doing it.
See,
आणि कारण मीडिया आशिल्ली थंय, सो तुवें जर पळयल्या जाल्यार तुमी सांगचे.
See, any violence on any political party's office or anywhere cannot be supported at any point of time. I completely agree.
So we have taken a, but there was absolutely no violence.
But
We have not even tried to go up.
But Giriraj, I have only one question with regard to this. But then, was it right for your party president to say that you understand the BJP and the amount of force that we have and the amount of people we have?
Parat sir, we have
hinted that if the BJP hits back, you'll have no way to.
No. Sir, see,
Correct.
we have
clarification on that.
what President has said is very clear. Ki, please don't take us for granted. It is just because we don't do it does not mean we don't have a.
But
we can't do it.
So
Sir, tomorrow, if I try to slap you, what are you going to tell me? That you, no matter how many slaps you slap me as many number of times, I will accept. No. I'm asking you. I'm not.
Okay.
Will you say
Giriraj,
I'll tell you what
the thing
I'll
is,
say.
Sujay,
we have no. But he has also made No,
But
but
I
he has
tell you-
also made a very important point. Ki this kind of low and cheap level of discourse should not exist in Goan
No,
politics.
but
It has never existed.
But Giriraj,
Suraj.
that wasn't it a direct threat from the
No, there was no threat.
Suraj.
आम्ही इतलंच
नाही, आम्ही
सांगला
सांगला
की
की
आमच्या सहनशीलतेक तुम्ही आमची विकनेस समजू नका. फाल्यां जर तुमकां ते करपाक जाय, सी एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम यू विल हॅव टू
सुरज म्हाका एक पॉयंट हाजेर करपाक जाय.
नाही आता जर आम्ही जर धमकी दिवपाची आशिल्ली ते एना बरोबर वी कुड हॅव वन पुश देम बॅक आणि गॉन टू दर ऑफिस नॉट गॉन. आणि एक म्हणजे आम आदमी पार्टी इज नॉट दॅट रेलेव्हंट ऑल्सो. पण हांव इतलेंच सांगता, एक सिटींग आमदार ही कुड हॅव गॉन टू द एसपी एंड सॉर्ट रिपोर्ट न्ही. तो थंय येवपाचें कारण कितें? आमी इतलेंच सांगता की आमी सहनशील आसा, बट आमी वीक ना. So they should not take us for granted.
Sure.
Our come for granted.
Just as one last point, and I'll keep quiet. Okay, I said just as the politics of violence is wrong, the politics of returning violence with threats is also.
We have not returned. We have not threatened any
No,
violence.
wait.
पण तुम्ही
No,
जी
no.
सहनशीलता आता म्हणटा न्हू, हे पण
नाही,
वेगळं
violence काही
Let
केला.
let him see.
तुम्ही जे म्हणटा न्हू, तुमच्या पार्टीन जावं प्रेसिडेंटान कोणे तरी एक स्टेटमेंट काढलो की आमचे गोंयांत 4 लाख असं सपोर्टर
Member आसा.
आणि
Correct.
इंडियेक अख्ख्या 1 crore काय
14 crores.
14
There was no strength.
नो पण तुझे तुम्ही गोंयांत जे 4 लाख म्हणटा ते भाड्याचे आमदार हाडले, त्यांचे वोट्स तुम्ही करता एकठांय. हो माझो प्रश्न तुमकां.
पहिलं म्हणजे आय डोंट एग्री विथ द टर्म भाड्याचे आमदार.
हा.
दुसरे एक जी पार्टी आसा ती सदांच ग्रो करप हेच काय आम आदमी पार्टी भशेन जावप.
नो
2017 6%, 2022 6%.
तो प्रश्न
आणि
वेगळो.
वी आर
तुम्ही
कन्सिस्टंटली एट
4
अबाउट
लाख खंयचे म्हणला
33%.
तो प्रश्न असा न्हू.
नाही पळय आता
You
परत
cannot count on the votes
यू
which-
कॅनॉट यू सी कशें आसा न्ही, डेटा इज डेटा. आम्ही सांगपाचो इतलोच प्रयत्न केला. नाही तुम्ही आमच्या किती अपेक्षा आसा की आम्ही तांकां सांगप की तुम्ही या नेक्स्ट
ना.
टाइम अटॅक करा, मारा आमच्या लोकांक
आम्ही
म्हणून.
तशें म्हणना.
नाही कितें सांग, नाही आम्ही कितें सांगपाचें?
Okay, I'll
नो
respond.
व्हॉट यू वॉन्ट मी अस टू टेल. आम्ही इतलेच सांगता की आम्ही 4 लाख मेंबर आसात. कळ्ळें तुका? जर तुम्ही नंबराची गेम खेळूंक शकता ती खेळूंक शकना, पण व्हायलन्स आम्ही केन्ना सांगला? फाल्यां वी कॅन ऑल्सो टेक आउट अ पीसफुल मोर्चा.
Yeah, Sujay,
we
you
are
have
not
to agree
unruly.
that
आणि
MLA
एक
cannot-
सांगता,
MLA cannot
we have
resist.
been in power for almost 14 years now. We have never, political party has never seen any violence. Has our political opponents ever faced violence from our side? Never. So आम्ही इतलेच सांगता की we believe in nation first आणि party second. पण that does not give you the right to come into our office and threaten. That is the only thing that president has said.
I accept that point completely, that nobody has the right to create violence in any.
Correct. But if anybody has specifically mentioned that we will unleash violence, then you can quote.
Correct. But
See, all I'm trying to say is you cannot
he didn't do it.
extrapolate from a single statement.
Well, we're not extrapolating, but we are.
You tell me the specific word.
But the BJP's strength and their numbers was very clearly
No,
put out.
but where is the violence part of
and-
it? There is no violence.
See,
So as we
Again, see, the moment you say indicative, I call it
let's not
speculative.
cross talk.
Okay,
The thing is,
Okay.
so the issue here is protests in Goa. What happened that day was wrong. First, blocking of roads. Second, Wenzi going to the BJP office. Whatever happened earlier, before this, the Congress thing, there were allegations that we don't want to talk. But the problem is, as Sujay said, there is anger in the minds of the people. There is anger that over several issues, taxis, Boma, this, that, IITs. Now the thing is, in between all this, what we see, another issue here is IITs. Why there has been protests, and the same people going everywhere to protest wherever the IIT is being, whatever the land has been finalized.
Let Giriraj start.
Let Giriraj Bob start on this.
बरं.
Tell me.
आता बिफोर कमिंग टू IIT, तुवें भोमा म्हणलें की लोकांचो राग आसा. आता परत इफ यू बिलीव्ह इन डेमोक्रेसी, यू ऑल्सो शुड बिलीव्ह दॅट द बिगस्ट फेस्टिवल ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी इज इलेक्शन्स. भोमा जेन्ना आता 24 इलेक्शन जाला, त्या वॉर्डान सुद्धा आमकां मेजॉरिटी आसा. दुसरे हांव कितें सांगता की दिशाभूल करपाचो प्रयत्न कसो जाता तो, की एक म्हणजे सांगलें की देवळां वता. खंयचें देवूळ वता? वेन निलेश काब्राल गेव अ प्रेझेंटेशन, म्हणजे दॅट हॅज ऑल्सो नेवर हॅपन्ड वेर पीपल हॅव बीन government has tried to take people into confidence, but our government has reached out. Nilesh Kabral gave a detailed presentation to the media. मागीर ताणें सांगलें की पॅड वता. खंयचें पॅड वता? पॅड खंयचेंच वचना. मागीर जेन्ना तांकां कळ्ळें की तो स्पेशली त्या पार्टा वयल्यान स्टेटा वयल्यान वतलो, they had no answer. म्हणजे there was a debate on another channel where their lead protester was there. He said, you have never shared the draft with us. So then I asked him one simple question which he had no answer to, ki then what are you protesting? आता आम्ही तुम्ही हांगा म्हणले खंय सांग IIT. आता IIT सारखे इन्स्टिट्यूशन गोंयान अपोज जावप म्हाका दिसता हे एक दुर्दैवी. एक म्हणजे आम्ही म्हणटा जागो ना. टील नाव एटलीस्ट 5 sites हॅव बीन आयडेंटिफाईड. पयलीं ते शेरमेळावी जाले, लोलयां जाले, रिवणा जाले, धारबांदोडा जाले, आता कोडा. कळ्ळें तुका? एक म्हणजे जी गजाल आसा, एज फार एज दीस लँड इज कन्सर्न, इट वॉज अ लार्ज ग्रुप ऑफ लोकल्स देमसेल्व्स वुड कम की आमचे कडेन जागो आसा. करंट वन. नाव दिस प्रोटेस्ट हॅज सडनली टर्न partly political, partly of affected people. See, we are going to speak to every affected person. ज्या मनशाक दिसता की आपलो इंटरेस्ट हर्ट जाता, सरकार उलयतले. बट इफ यू वॉन्ट अस टू टॉक टू वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट, देन इट कॅनॉट हॅपन. म्हणजे खरो जर मास्टर माइंडात सोदपाची गरज आसा न्हय, जाल्यार ह्या प्रोटेस्टांचो सोदपाक जाय. प्रत्येक यू प्रपोज आय अपोज. प्रत्येक गजालीक. म्हणजे आता फॉर एक्झाम्पल गोंया खातीर कितल्यो आमी रिलॅक्सेशन्स घेतल्या पळया. Original land requirement of any IIT anywhere in the country is 20 lakh square meters. When Javdekarji was HRD minister, now it is becoming education ministry. Manohar Parrikar, when as chief minister, got it reduced to 10 lakhs.
Right.
Even in this particular corridor matter, I think it is some 19 lakh square meter total land belonging to the Comunidad. An entire 5.5 lakhs approximate area is being left out of acquisition because there are people living there and established tenants.
Right.
आता तुम्ही म्हणटले की IIT जर 10 लाख दिता, उरलेले 14-15 लाख तुम्ही कित्याक मागीर एक्वायर करूंक सोदता. The problem is there is a private forest.
Right.
At multiple patches. So government is also sensitive की ते private forest acquire करून it should not go to anybody. आता IIT सारखे इन्स्टिट्यूशन आम्ही एका सायडीक म्हणटा आमकां ग्रीन इंडस्ट्री जाय. इज एज्युकेशन टुरिझम ऑर एज्युकेशनल इज नॉट अ ग्रीन इंडस्ट्री? IIT जर फाल्यां आयली, दे आर द वन्स हू आर लिडर्स इन सस्टेनेबल डेव्हलपमेंट गोल्स. दे एन्श्योर एव्हरीथिंग इज एन्व्हायरमेंटली वायबल. तर हांव इतलेंच म्हणटा की गव्हर्नमेंट हॅज टेकन एव्हरी पॉसिबल स्टेप टू कुशन. आता फॉर एक्झाम्पल थंय 200 तरी जॉब्स तयार जातले ज्या जाग्यार तो वतलो. आणि दीज आर तो आय एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट प्रोफेसर्स ऑर अदर्स. म्हणजे फाल्यां ते मल्टीटास्किंग स्टाफ असतात, क्लेरिकल स्टाफ असतात, सेक्युरिटी असतात.
So it is going to create a lot of job
फॉर एक्झाम्पल
opportunities.
GIM इज द क्लासिक एक्झाम्पल. ते साखळे प्रायव्हेट लँडार जाल्ले, बट आज त्या विलेजींतले लोक जे थंय जॉबाक लागल्या. सी हांव इतलेंच म्हणटा की कोण तरी दिशाभूल करता म्हणून अपोज करचे न्हय.
Your views, Sujay?
See, I have a larger point to make beyond. See, fundamentally, I agree that at the end of the day, education, IIT is coming to go as a must.
Yeah.
It ultimately impact people and so on and so forth. And of course, there will be pros and cons, but by and large, I would say that the need to have an IIT in Goa, there can be no argument against it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's settle that first. But there are a couple of questions that I have. Not questions with regard to the manner in which the entire thing is being planned. The idea here is, can't we have a situation, and I'm saying this as a part of a conversation and an effort to arrive at a proper consensus so that we can move forward and get it done. Can't we have a conversation to figure out whether land can be identified in such areas where either the Comunidad land is not being taken or land of Dalits, Adivasis, weaker sections are not being taken? Can't we identify land, if it's possible, to earmark areas where people's lands, where people are probably doing farming or fishing or they still have lands? If we can avoid those kind of lands, because in any case, the area which is coming under farming, Comunidad lands, all are getting eaten up by different kinds of development. So here is that if we can find a solution to this, and as far as IIT is concerned, you can even go far away and do it at a very remote place. You don't necessarily have to do it in the middle of town, as GIM was it. So why don't we find areas which are not affected, where people are ultimately not affected, where land does not go, where Comunidad land does not go, earmark those lands and have it here. This is a larger issue. Of course, protests against IIT has been going on far too long, and ultimately people will look at Goa as a state that does not want education, and that impact will have.
Yeah.
However, but let us look at areas where people who are in traditional occupations don't get impacted.
Yeah. Pradeep, your
एज्युकेशनाक सगळेकडे चान्स दिवकूच जाय. पूण जेन्ना मेलावली पळय, हांवें पर्सनली तो दोंगर 8 सकाळी चडलो तो हांव दनपारां 2:30 सुमार देंवलो. द रिच स्पेसीस आनी द फॉरेस्ट एंड ऑल नो ते बरें. समज खरेंच जर 200 गिरिराज म्हणटा तशें जर 200 लोकांक जॉब मेळटा, वेदर वॉट डिस्ट्रॉयींग दॅट दोंगर येदो व्हडलो आसलो काय म्हणून एक. सेकंडली मोपा एअरपोर्टाक मरे अजून लोक बोळा मारता लँड ओनर्स की आमकां कॉम्पन्सेशन काय मेळूंक ना म्हणून. आय डोंट नो हाऊ फार इट इज ट्रू. सो ह्यो सगळ्यो गोष्टी जर पळयत न्हू IIT बरें. दुसरें म्हणजे IITन गोंयचे कितले लोक शिकपी आसा, कितले लोक इंटरेस्टेड इन गोईंग फॉर एज्युकेशन इन IIT लेवल गोंयांतले.
प्रदीप बाब, तुझा तो क्वेश्चन गव्हर्नमेंटाचा हांवच सांगता. पहिली गजाल म्हणजे फर्स्ट थिंग, IIT everybody is protesting. Okay, the same people are going everywhere to protest. We all agree that this is the same thing happening everywhere.
No, that is why I raised a larger issue.
So that is there you will see the protest saying that maybe they have some concerns about people. But I am saying at the same time, why are these people not seen when there is a whole deforestation? Just show me somebody protesting for the DLF project. Show me the protest for casinos.
See,
There
all
are
these
so many
protests
things.
against one project, against casino, these are all valid protests. But what you're saying is that the protesters for one project are not seen in other spots.
Yeah.
Now the point is, but I am addressing a larger issue. I take your point. My larger issue here is that if we want IIT to come to Goa, and the answer is yes, we emphatically want IIT to come to Goa. I think the government, opposition, all stakeholders, and I'm sure one can identify land where traditional communities, fishing communities, farmers, ancient community land, if we can manage to leave that out and have it in areas where these communities are not impacted, the solution can happen.
Your remarks.
जे सुजय बाब सांगतात तोच हांवें पॉयंट पयलींच कित्याक केलो की आय गिव यू द फेअर पिक्चर ऑफ द एक्झिस्टिंग प्लॉट.
Right.
आमकां कितलो गव्हर्नमेंट एक्वायर करता, वॉट हॅज बीन. एक म्हणजे 10 लाख रिक्वायरमेंट जी हाडली 10 लाखाचेर, विच इज द गोवा इज द ओनली एक्सेप्शन बाय द वे. ऑल अदर स्टेट्स. आता जे प्रदीप बाबान म्हणलें की गोंयकार कितले शिकतले, होच जर विचार IIT बॉम्बेन केल्लो आनी पवईन जागो नाकारलेलो न्ही, पॉसिबली पवईचो इतली ग्रोथ जावची नाशिल्ली. पण IIT जेन्ना येता, म्हणजे सादें तुमकां सांगता, एक म्हणजे आज खूब जाण IITचे स्वप्न सुद्धा पळयना बिकॉज भायर वचचें पडटा. एक बरो कॅम्पस असो, म्हणजे आय थिंक IIT डिजर्व्स अ गुड कॅम्पस. दुसरें तांणी सांगलें की एनवायरमेंटल डिस्ट्रक्शन, म्हणजे ते कितें करता, म्हणजे ते कितें केमिकल इंडस्ट्री IIT म्हणजे की IIT येतले आनी हांगा सी तांचे जे आसता एनवायरमेंटली ग्रीन बिल्डिंग्स जर सगळ्याकीन कोणे चड एडॉप्ट केले जाल्यार ते IIT. देयर रिसर्च इज इन दॅट फील्ड. तर एक म्हणजे एनवायरमेंट बांदलो दवरून, म्हणजे आमी मागीर सस्टेनेबल डेव्हलपमेंट कित्याक, म्हणजे म्हाका तुमी सांगा एक घर दाखय जें झाड मारल्या शिवाय जाता, जायत ना, आमी घरां बांदना. सो हांव इतलेंच सांगता. न्ही दुसरें, आतां फॉर एक्झाम्पल IIT जंय आसा, जी लोकल इन्स्टिट्यूट्स आसा, they work towards strengthening the existing infrastructure of schools, trying to get into competitive exams. म्हणजे फाल्यां एक सांगा म्हाका, फाल्यां प्रत्येकान कित्याक एम करचो न्ही की माय सन शूड स्टडी इन IIT. आनी आतां एटलिस्ट लेट अस नॉट से की IITचो इंजिनियराक रिस्पेक्ट मेळना म्हणून. दॅट इज द हायस्ट रिस्पेक्ट. पण आज जाला कशें न्ही, आज तुम्ही पळया गव्हर्नमेंट जॉब जर सोडलो जाल्यार एस्पिरेशनूच ना खूब जाणांची. तर कॅन वी नॉट हॅव IIT एज अ एस्पिरेशन, आणि जोपर्यंत यू हॅव अ प्रॉपर कॅम्पस. बरें, आता तुम्ही पळया IIT बॉम्बेन कितल्यो PhDs जाता इन नॉन इंजिनियरिंग सब्जेक्ट्स ऑल्सो. देर आर सर्टिफिकेट कोर्सेस, देर आर ऑनलायन कोर्सेस. सी, गोंयान येदे व्हडले इन्स्टिट्यूट येवप आनी ताका विरोध करप, आनी ताजो जो जे लोकल आसा. बरें, दुसरें आतां तुमी सांगा GIM आयले, त्याच्या भितर कितल्यो हॉटेलां आयली, कितल्यो कॅफेज आयल्यो, कितल्यो ज्यूस सेंटर्स आयले. आतां GIM सारके आयले, IIT इज गोइंग टू बी मच बिगर. आणि तुम्ही सांगा, म्हाका दिसता गोंय हे एकदम कंड्युसिव्ह आसा फॉर एज्युकेशन टुरिझम. फाल्यां चडांत चड भुरगे येतले. हांव इतलेंच म्हणटा की जशें तुमी सांगलें की एकूच एक्टिव्हिस्ट सगळ्याक दिसता, कळ्ळें तुका, तो भोमाचो थंय पावता, थंयचो हांगा पावता. हांव इतलेंच म्हणटा की 4 जाणांक पडला गोंयचे किंवा त्या 10 जाणांक. कारण प्रत्येकाक जर गोंयच्या इंट्रस्टाच्या कुस्तार जर कोणाक राजकारण करपाक जाय न्ही, म्हणून हांवें सांगलें की जे कोण वेस्टेड इंट्रस्ट आसा, म्हणजे फाटीं म्हाका सुजय बाबान आर्टिकल, आय डोंट नो इफ यू आर स्टील इन हेराल्ड, बट आय हॅड मेड अ स्टेटमेंट की 90% ऑफ द एक्टिविस्ट्स आर एक्सटॉर्शनिस्ट म्हणून. आय हॅड लेफ्ट 10% आउट. न्ही, वाय डीड दे हॅव टू कम टू हेराल्ड आणि सेल्फ आयडेंटिफाय or go to that temple and pray against me? हांव इतलेंच म्हणटा, देर आर 10% genuinely interested, but today concern for environment has become a stepping stone for politics, आणि आय थिंक दॅट इज डेंजरस. म्हणून हांव सांगता, आता इवन जे कोणार आसा, जर कोणाचो जेन्युइन इंटरेस्ट आसा, वी विल एब्सोल्युटली टॉक टू हिम, वी विल ट्राय टू कन्विन्स. आणि म्हणून तुमकां सांगलें हांवें, आता जर कोणाची जर टेनन्सी आसा जाल्यार ती आतापर्यंत कित्याक लागू ना. आणि अशें जर तुमकां दिसता की टेनन्सी लागूच ना, इट्स ऑलमोस्ट 20 लाख स्क्वेअर मीटर, न्ही, 19.5 लाख स्क्वेअर मीटर लँड, 5.5 लाख ऑलरेडी सायडीक सोडल्या बिकॉज समबडी इज कल्टिवेटिंग इट. बट तुम्ही जशें म्हणटा की एनक्रोचमेंट जावपाक जायना. आर वी नॉट वॉन्टिंग दिस लँड टू बी गो टू IIT बिकॉज समबडी हॅज एन आय टू एनक्रोच? काय शुड वी जस्ट अलाव एनक्रोचमेंट? ना जाल्यार कांयच जावचें ना. कारण आज तुमकां थंय रेजिडेन्शियल प्रोजेक्ट नाका, तुमकां आनी कसलो प्रोजेक्ट नाका, तुमकां इंडस्ट्री नाका, आनी एज्युकेशन इन्स्टिट्यूट येता विच इज पॉसिबली द ग्रीनेस्ट पॉसिबल इंडस्ट्री, ती नाका.
So
इज
basically-
गोवा गोइंग टू बी डिनायड ऑफ डेव्हलपमेंट ओनली बिकॉज सम हँडफुल एक्टिविस्ट डोंट वॉन्ट इट? आणि
So
they
If
can't
you
see
have
one
time, I'd
benefit.
like to like 30 seconds. But
Just let me say.
yeah.
The thing is, as Giriraj Bab said, that everything and anything is being opposed. Pradeep Bab also said that what we want IITs for, and Sujay said that there has to be land which has to be taken, which does not is not cultivable and all those things. But the thing is, we have restrictions on time. I want all three of you to make concluding remarks on all these protests and
on all the 3 points.
all 3 points.
Okay.
Pradeep Bab?
मेन आम्ही सुरू केल्लो हे
रामा.
प्रोटेस्ट हांगाच्या रामाच्या कडून. आतां पळय इन शॉर्ट सांगता तुका की मिडियान जावं पब्लिकली 91 to 93 ह्या टायमार जेन्ना रवी नायकान एक फोर्सफूल एक्शन घेवन प्रोटेक्टर्स म्हणून व्हडली तेन्ना जी संस्था आसता ती काबार केल्ली, जावं तांकां भितर खूब जाणांक भितर उडोवन अरेस्ट करून घेतले, दॅट इज एक्सपेक्टेड फ्रॉम दीस गव्हर्मेंट अगेन, हुएवर मे बी द कल्प्रिट. ओके. सेकंडली, हो जर एक गेम कसो जर म्हणशीत न्हू तूं, जाल्यार मरे गेम पॉलिटिकल गेम एक चॅस गेम म्हळ्यार तुज्यान. चॅस गेम केन्ना सोंपता? केन्ना ती ड्रॉ जाता. पूण सोंपता केन्ना? ते किंग आसता पळय ताका चॅकमेट म्हणजे ताका मारचो पडटा. ओके. सो किंग कोण आहा पळय ताका चॅकमेट करपाची आयज गरज आसा.
So Sujay?
See, with regard to Rama Kankonkar, as I said earlier, what is very clear here is that at the end of the day, the fear of the law and the fear of the police is something that is getting diminished. To counter that, there has to be very fast, swift action. Some of it may have already happened, but at the end of the day, the people of Goa understand that Zenith Cardoso could not have done this without a motive. So the motive has to be established, and the person who ultimately gave directions for this hit to be done under any circumstances, that person needs to be either investigated and identified, irrespective of whether he's a politician or a businessman or whether he's linked to the BJP or the Congress or AAP, whatever be the case. Let the entire journey of investigation. If the journey is from Margao to Mapsa, it should not stop in Panjim. That's all I'm saying.
Giriraj Bab?
सी हांव अशा पार्टीक रिप्रेझेंट करता जंय आमचो देशाचो प्रधानमंत्री स्वताक प्रधान सेवक म्हणटा. त्यामुळे किंग कोण तो म्हाका म्हणजे दॅट प्रदीप बाब इज रेफरिंग टू आय डोंट नो. सो आमी जनतेचे सेवक म्हणून जनतेन वावुरता. हांव एकूच सांगता की एज फार एज क्रायम इन गोवा इज कन्सर्न देर वील बी झिरो टॉलरन्स बाय डुईंग सबसिक्वेंट अरेस्ट. म्हणजे जे कोण त्या सायटार आशिल्ले तांकां अरेस्ट जाल्या, तांकां जेणे कोणे ऑर्डर्स दिल्या एज पर SP ताणें जे सांगलां ताका अरेस्ट जाला. सो देर वील बी नो पॉलिटिकल इंटरफियरन्स, देर वील बी नो कॉम्प्रोमाइज विथ एनीबडी. ऑल दोज रिस्पॉन्सिबल, इवन इफ देर इज सम मास्टरमाइंड, ही विल बी अरेस्टेड आणि ही विल मीट विथ द सेम स्ट्रिंजंट पनिशमेंट. एज फार एज अदर प्रोटेस्ट आर कन्सर्न, म्हणजे इतलेंच आसा की आता इलेक्शन इज जस्ट अबाउट 400-500 days अवे. तर ताज्या खातीर म्हणजे आता फाल्यां आज तांणी जे पयर जो प्रोटेस्ट केलो म्हणजे रामा काणकोणकाराक जे जालें ताजो वापर आपल्या राजकीय कार्यकर्ते खातीर किंवा जे व्यंजन केले ते दाखयता की कितलो सकयल्या थराक वचून ते राजकारण करतात. तर म्हाका इतलेंच दिसता की IIT सुद्धा जर आसा, हे जे एक्टिविस्ट आसा तांकां एकूय बरी गजाल दिसली ना. तर लोकांक फक्त मिसगायड करून तांकां प्रोटेस्ट करून सरकाराचेर दबाव हाडच्या परस म्हाका दिसता जर बरी गजाल जाता जाल्यार एक डिस्कशन करचें. पण हे जे वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट आसा तांचे म्हणजे खरो मास्टरमाइंड जर सोदपाक जाय जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता ह्या प्रोटेस्टांचो सोदपाक जाय. आनी म्हाका इतलेंच दिसता, पण हांव एकूच तुमच्या मार्फत गोंयकारांक सांगूंक सोदतां की एज फार एज लॉ अँड ऑर्डर इज कन्सर्न, डॉक्टर प्रमोद सावंत विल नॉट टॉलरेट एनी पॉलिटिकल इंटरफियरन्स ऑर एनी इंटरफियरन्स वॉट्सएवर.
थँक्यू व्हेरी मच. आमकां अशें आमी म्हटलें की आतां वेळेची मर्यादा आसा आमचे कडेन. आमचे एक्सपर्ट्स जे आसा खूब ज्ञानी आसात, तांचे कडेन खूब म्हायती आहा ह्या सगळ्या इश्यूआचेर. आनी जशें गिरिराज बाबान सांगलें की CM मुख्यमंत्री जो आहा आमचो ताणें एक अश्युरन्स दिला की जो मास्टरमाइंड आसा तो ताका धरले वयतले आनी गुंडागिरी ती अलाव करचो ना. सुजय बाबान म्हटले सेम थिंग. ऑल 3 एक्सपर्ट पॅनल आमचे तांचे एकूच व्यू आसलो की हुएवर इज द मास्टरमाइंड शूड बी अरेस्टेड. अँड from the party side, Giriraj has assured that it will be done. देव बरे करू म्हणता, तुम्ही तुमचा टाइम दिलो सगळ्यांनी,
Thank you.
प्रदीप बाब, सुजय बाब, गिरिराज
Thank you.
बाब,
थँक्यू.
आणि we wish you all the best.
Thank you
Hoga
Suraj,
so.
for conducting a very important interview, panel discussion on a very important topic. Thank you.
Thank you.
तुम्ही पळयतात गोंयकारपण, गोंयकारांचो गोंयकारा खातीर.